All right. Welcome to our new podcast, 2158 Return, Rise of the Brotherhood, Episode 1. I'm your host, Big Sean.
And I'm your co-host, Grizz.
Great. In this episode, we're going to introduce you to Brothers of the Highway TC and how the club was founded. So basically, I founded a club. I started the club back in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, roughly. And the way the club started is I was an over-the-road truck driver. I was looking for something to pass the time going down the road or different things like that. And I found a friend of mine put me onto this one club called LHB, Long Haul Bandits. So I joined that club and I was there for about a year and decided to branch off and kind of start my own thing. So I decided to take the club from where it was, is just like a gathering and different things like that, and take it into where we are right now, which we'll get into that a little bit later into the interviews. And when I'm talking to Grizz up there, my national marketing director, he's going to be going back and forth. We kind of talk about this a little bit. But the club was originally founded to give us an outlet, basically to give us drivers on the road, because you something to talk about, someone to talk to other than your wife or significant other or whatever the case might be. Just give us something to pass the time, because it gets lonely out on the road, driving down the road, uh, hours upon hours, nothing to talk, nobody to talk to, nothing to talk with. How do you feel, Gris, like when it comes to stuff like that?
And that's the thing. Like honestly, it's the club is a big help, especially for a lot of drivers out here because sometimes their significant other they're not interested in this lifestyle or this career. So it really helps when you have a group of guys that are in the same industry and that they're passionate about it. So it
Right.
gives you that outlet to talk about what you got going on during the day and say you need some help or stuff like that. It really does help.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I found out when I was part of the other club that I mentioned earlier. It made the time pass by. It gave you someone to talk to. It gave you different things to do, and you met a group of guys that you would have never met. Uh, and that was a good thing that I found out about when I decided to start BOH. For you guys to understand that 2158 is the alphanumeric for Brothers of the Highway BOH. Just kind of give you guys an idea of what the 2158 stands for. Uh, I know you came to the club. What? How long ago did you come to Club Grizz? What, about a year ago, roughly?
Yeah, just over a year ago. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I know you've been with us for about a year now. You started off as a prospect. You went through the prospecting round. You did all that fun stuff. Now you made your way up basically to the national marketing director, because this is something I know you specialize in. So I like putting people in positions to where they can benefit the club, and that's kind of where we are right now. Right now, the club started off with one member, myself, and a few other guys, and we've kind of moved forward to where we're at right now. We're around roughly 60 members in the club, and this club has helped me out. It's helped a lot of people out over the time that this club was founded, and we've transitioned so much in the last, coming up in, I think July will be our fourth year we started this club. Uh, and that's kind of where we're at when it comes to that fun stuff. I know Grizz came along. He was part of another organization out there, and he saw what we were doing. Met up with him. He came to one of our meetups. We do meetups across the country, 3 or 4 times a year. We do meetups amongst each other as well during the when people are out there driving on the road. They'll just meet up at random truck stops and hang out with each other, grab dinner and stuff like that. So it's just created an avenue for people to pass their time on the road and not be so lonely on the road. And that's what this is all about. That's why we bring in the the title is Rise of the Brotherhood for a reason. We want to bring back that old school way of trucking, the brotherhood, the camaraderie. And that's what we're looking to do. And that's why I'm glad we got Grizz in here, kind of talk a little bit about that. How does that bring you in? How did that make you feel when you found out and you got through the prospect around, you went through the you're in the brotherhood phase, you're all that fun stuff. Has that helped you out in any way, shape, form when it comes to that aspect?
Oh yeah. It totally changed. At the time before I came into the club, I was actually thinking about hanging the keys up, and I got into the truck I'm in now, and joined the club, and it just totally renewed my love for this industry.
Nice.
Being in BOH, it's that family bond you have with your brothers. I love
Exactly.
meeting up with any one of my brothers when I'm out here on the road.
Nice. And that's what I wanted to create. I was trying to create that family away from family. We all have our family. It is what it is. But when you're on the road, sometimes you can't get in touch with your family. Sometimes you can't do anything like that. So when we have the brothers, the members in the club, it's that family away from family. And that was the greatest thing that I found that helped me out, because there's certain things that we can talk about, help each other out in different aspects. And like I said earlier, the clubs helped me out more than people can even imagine at the end of the day. So, can you give me some examples of how the club has basically helped you in a sense?
A lot of with the way that it's helped me is we've got a lot of experience throughout the entire club with the brothers that have been driving and how long they've been driving on the road. And sometimes you get into situations where you hop in chat and you're like, "Hey, I need help with this. What can I do?" And they start popping off ideas, and it's like, okay, that sounds like it'll work. I think I'm going to try that. Or say you're having issues at home and you need somebody to talk to. That's another avenue that the club's helped me with, is just trying to get through those issues.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, man, this club, it's a great thing. It helps a lot of members out. Like I said, we're roughly around 60 members as of right now that are actually in the club, as part of the club, that do our day to day basis with our mission statement and different things like that. Uh, I love everything about BOH, man. We've had our ups and downs. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, we know we're doing a great thing. We know what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring back the old school ways. We're trying to create that brotherhood and bring that camaraderie back. You see a driver pulled over on the side of the road, we'll pull over and help them out if they're broke down. We get on the CB. If they have a CB, if they don't, we'll still check on them and make sure they're okay. If they don't have food at a truck stop, we'll buy them food at a truck stop to help them out. Because that's the way it used to be. I've been driving since 2000. Now I know the old school ways is like way before me, but I've been driving a truck since 2000 when I first got my CDL. But there was still some camaraderie. There was still the old school ways. There was still the brotherhood ways back in those days. Not like it was earlier in the 80s and 90s, of course, but that's where it is. I've been around trucking my whole life, so I know where that stuff comes from, and that's why I'm trying to bring this stuff back to that avenue. We did format the club when I started it. We wanted to have some kind of structure, because you can't just have a bunch of guys in the club, in a room, or whatever type settings it might be. You got to have some type of format. So we do have a format which is basically structured like an MC style in a sense. We are a TC, which is a truckers club. We're not an MC. We're not affiliated with MCs whatsoever. We are for truck drivers and truck drivers only. But we formatted it like an MC because it worked. That's proven for 100 years that it works. So we have the national president, which is myself, and the founder of the club, Big Sean. Then we have a national vice president, national sergeant arms, road captain, enforcer, treasurer, secretary, chaplain. That's kind of a little bit about the COC. Then we have different chapters. We have 3 different chapters as well. We have our Asphalt Demons chapter. We have our Highway Asylum chapter. We also have our um, Highway Souls chapter, which each one of those chapters have their president, vice president, sergeant at arms, enforcer, secretary. And then the brothers fall in underneath that, and they're based on whatever chapter they're in. That's who their chain of command is. So we had to have a chain of command. We figured that out kind of early on, that we needed that chain of command to keep everybody in, not to keep everybody moving forward, to keep the club moving forward like we wanted it to move forward at that point. Have you? I know you jumped pretty far from a brother right to a national officer position, but that how did that how did that work out for you at the end of the day? Basically, let me explain that, or have you explain that to me a little bit?
It actually it kept everything very uniform, and it kept the order within the club.
Okay. Absolutely, and that's what we found out pretty early on. We had to have some kind of chain of command to keep the order, because I'm going to get into some other points here soon that we're not just a regular fly by night club. We're not just a truckers club, a TC, a social club, or a bunch of guys talking to each other or whatever the case might be. We're not any of that aspect. We are actually a nationally recognized 501c3 organization. We have donated to various over the last couple of years. We got our 501c3 was finalized in March of 2023. We got that done, but prior to that, we were already donating to various toy drives. We've donated to Autism Awareness. We've donated to Trucking for Truth. We've donated to Ocular Melanoma Foundation. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. It's pretty big out there. We've also donated to Truckers Final Mile. And for truck drivers, you guys should know what Truckers Final Mile is all about. It's a great organization. It actually helps drivers that do unfortunately pass away on the road, gets them home to their loved ones. That's what it's about. We donated to them. We've also donated to breast cancer awareness. That's just in the last couple of years. We have a lot of new upcoming things that we're going to do for 2025 that we'll explain in a few later episodes down the road. But this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build everything and help out everywhere we can help out. That's what we're trying to do. Um, I don't know if there's any other things that you've done personally prior to trucking or while you're in trucking or how this has helped you out to be in trucking or how you feel about the donations we do or what I don't know. Maybe I'll let you talk for a little bit and explain more because I've done all the talking. I know it's our first episode. This is our first time doing a podcast, so just bear with us. We're kind of messing around and kind of figuring this out. They'll get better as time goes on, but we appreciate everybody that watches and likes and subscribes to our channel. That would be awesome. We appreciate it because we're going to do a lot more stuff, guys, to do with trucking. Some of them might not do with trucking, but mainly that's what we're about. We're to do with trucking 100%. I'll let you talk for a little while, Grizz. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to get something to drink while you talk for a little while.
Okay. Yeah. So when I first joined the club, it was I like Sean was saying, I was in another organization and I was helping them, and I was kind of in and out of BOH within the chats and whatnot, and I really didn't do much with it. But once I made the national meetup last year, it just changed my whole perception of the club, and I was like, this is where I want to be. I want to be here. I want to help see this grow leaps and bounds. Just the other morning, I actually met up with another driver, that a coworker of mine for the same company as me, and he had pulled in. He had backed into a spot a couple spots down for me, and I grabbed the CB mic, and I talked to him. I was talking to him for a few minutes. I'm like, "Hey, you ate breakfast yet?" And he goes, "No, I'm broke right now." I'm like, "Let me get dressed real quick, and we'll go grab some breakfast." And I bought him breakfast that morning, and we sat
Right.
down and talked. And he's now in the process of prospecting into the club.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Like, if you guys want to see some of the meetup photos, we've done meetups in Las Vegas. We've done them in Indiana. We've done them in Texas. Where else have we done the meetup? I can't remember. We've done probably about 10 different meetups over the time of the club. The national meetup's always in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where it's always at. But I know we done it twice in Texas. One down in Fort Worth and one in Amarillo. We've done Perryville, Ohio. That's where it was. I couldn't remember that one. We've done them in Perryville, Ohio. We've done them in Indiana, which was I think it was Delville, Indiana. We did the last one at. So we go across the country and we'll actually do these meetups, and we sit out there for 2 days. We're out at a truck stop on Friday, starting at like 8 in the morning until like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And all we're doing is cooking food for drivers and giving away free plates of food. We passed out over 200 plates of food each meetup to the drivers just to take care of these drivers. And that's what it's about, guys. Because I remember back when I first started, you park out on a North 40. Back in the day, people are barbecuing. Drivers are barbecuing out. Hey, come get some food, driver. Come on over and hang out with us. Well, you don't see that anymore. I mean, that's what we're trying to bring back. We'll have guys that drive around out here across the country, and they might both be in the same spot at the same time. They'll meet up, two or three of them, like, hey, let's throw something on the grill and cook some food and just hang out with each other. That's what we need to bring back to trucking. We're trying to change that perception of trucking. And trust me, guys, I'm a realist. There's over 400,000 truck drivers out there. We're not going to change everybody's perception. I get it. We're going to do it one driver at a time, though. We're going to do our best to put our best foot forward out there for truck drivers, because truck driving is the backbone of America, period. We are who it is. Without us, America don't move. So always look at yourself as a truck driver. Don't look down on yourself. Look like, hey, man, I'm the man out here. Without me, this country don't move. And that's where you got to always build yourself up when it comes to stuff like that. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely.
so- and that's just my mindset. It always will be my mindset when it comes to being a truck driver. We are the ones. Period. It's just the end of story. I mean, I don't know how you feel about being a truck driver, but like I said, I've been doing this since 2000, so I'm 25 years into driving a truck. So just to
Yeah,
kind of give you an idea, but I don't know, I don't know how long you've been driving for, but we can go into that. Uh,
yeah. I started driving back in 2009 is when I got
okay,
my CDL and I got behind the wheel. And it was a little rough that first few years, but once I started getting the hang of it, it was just it pretty much came naturally. And the one thing I really love about it is traveling.
right.
I absolutely love traveling.
You
And
get paid to travel, man, which is awesome.
right, exactly, exactly. And like Sean was saying, when he got into trucking, it was towards the end of when that real brotherhood within the industry started to dwindle down. I came into the industry right as it was really ending, and I grew up in a family where I'm essentially a first generation trucker myself, and but my grandfather's neighbor had always owned a truck, and I was always fascinated with truck driving. And
Right,
that's essentially what got me into the industry, and I've loved it ever since. I
right.
couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Oh man, trucking is a love hate relationship. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate
Right,
it.
we all have our days, we do.
Yep. I mean, I've been doing it, like I said, for a long time, off and on, but I do miss the open road. Like right now, I'm at home. I'm doing a local thing, and it's not really local, but it's going to be more Vegas to Phoenix and Utah and stuff like that. More of a regional thing. But part of me does miss the OTR life, but part of me hates the OTR life. It's like I said, it's a love hate thing out there on the road, man. But there's nothing like getting out on the open road, throw your cruise control on, and just roll down the road and not a care in the world. And that's the great thing about what we do here. You're not just listening to the radio. You're not just sitting in silence. And because when you sit in that silence as a truck driver, I mean, Grizz, when you sit in that silence sometimes as a truck driver, you get in your own mind. Your mind starts wandering. So that's where,
Exactly.
right. And that's what we created a club for, man. We have these chats that we can get into and talk to people for hours on end and have great conversations, get in there and joke around and cut up. Next thing you know, you're 6 hours down the road and don't even realize. You might even miss a turn once in a while, because I can promise you, the chats have caught me a few times missing my turns. I promise
Going
you.
that extra mile is what we call it.
Yes, sir. All the time, every day. But I think that's pretty much going to wrap up our first episode. Pretty sure we got a lot of work to do on these things. Like I said, it's my first time doing a podcast. It's our first time as a club doing a podcast. But when you guys do get an opportunity to watch it, please feel free to comment, subscribe to our channel, like it. We're trying to build this channel, and you guys can help us out, because we got a lot of stuff coming up in 2025 that we're going to be doing for truck drivers, just for people in general at the end of the day. So again, my name is Big Sean. I'm the national president and the founder of the club. And then
And
my
I'm
whole
Grizz.
other, and we got Grizz. Go ahead. Sorry, told you this is new to us.
Yeah, I am the national marketing director for BOH. And handle is Grizz.
Awesome. So again, appreciate you guys. You can check us out on our website at www.brothersofthehighway.com, or if you want to follow us on Facebook, please go to BOH Family and click to join, and we will add you guys. And that's where you're going to see a lot of our membership stuff, a lot of our things that we do when we're on the road, driver appreciation, shower appreciation for attendance. You're going to see all that fun stuff on the family page. So if you want to go to BOH Family on Facebook, go ahead and join, and you'll see everything, all the different meetups we've done, all the stuff we do for the community. But again, love and respect is what we say. We always do our thing when we
Respect.
sign out at anything, love and respect, because that's what it's about. You guys have a great time, and BOH for life. Have a good one, guys.